What would a day in Rome be without a ride on a Vespa? Well, we're gonna find out today. Stick around. Ehi, Valerio!
Buongiorno.
Ciao!
Benvenuti.
So, Valerio, what are we gonna see today?
I'm gonna bring you to Garbatella,
Ah, perfect.
which is my neighborhood.
Yeah?
And on the way, we will explore Rome into the maze of the narrow streets and
Little streets. Okay. So, a shortcut to Garbatella through the centro storico,
Right.
which is a historic city center.
Exactly.
Cool. All right.
Benissimo.
Yeah, let's go.
Vado? Via. This is the Mercato of Campo de Fiori, the daily one. By Vespa we can flexibly explore nooks and crannies of Rome. This is the best way to go around. Ciao. This is my neighborhood. The Rione would be the Rione Regola. So this is officially called Regola, but we call it simply Campo de Fiori district. So we're going to go towards Garbatella, where my family is. We have no limits by Vespa exploring Rome. This is Via dei Giuponari, the street where centuries ago the people who sold the jackets. This is the famous Forno Roscioli on the left, the most famous bakery in Rome, honestly. The Church of Santa Maria della Valle. Sant'Andrea della Valle Church has the second biggest dome in Rome. The palace right in front of us is one of the Senato of Italy, Palazzo Madama. This is the famous cafe of Sant'Eustachio. Gorgeous day today, sunny day. We are nearby the Pantheon, oldest standing building of Rome, 19th century, which is on the left over there. We see part of the dome and the Church of Santa Maria sopra Minerva, here to the left. The stores where they sell outfit for priests. This is the beautiful piazza of the Collegio Romano. The Collegio Romano, since the 1600, was the main headquarters of the Jesuits in Rome. In Rome we often find these kind of bridges connecting the two sides of the two palaces. We call them passetti. We are riding now, it's usually restricted. So cars are not allowed to get inside normally since 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. Only scooters like my Vespa. Okay? This church on the left is the Church of St. Ignazio, the main church of the Jesuits. The beautiful piazza on the right, one of the Baroque plaza of Rome. This is the plaza where we can admire on the left columns of the original temple built in honor of Hadrian, still standing, 2nd century after Christ. The Palazzo Chigi, the headquarters of the Italian governo, and the huge column on my left is the Colonna of Marcus Aurelius. And then the beautiful Via del Corso, the main boulevard of Rome, the historical one, the only straight road in the old city. At the end of Via del Corso, the beautiful obelisco and the Porta del Popolo. With the traffic. This is Via del Tritone. It's a road between the Trevi Fountain on the right and the Spanish Steps on the left. The white building on the corner here on the right is the headquarters of the Messaggero, which is the main newspaper of Rome. Beautiful Roma, la mia bellissima città. We're going towards Trevi Fountain, which is at the end of the road. Grazie. Out of the Trevi Fountain area, now go up to the top of the Quirinale hill. The Quirinale is one of the 7 hills of Rome. Good. I mean, it's perfect. You know, we don't go fast. The Vespa is made to enjoy the ride and enjoy the view. Gorgeous sunny day. On the left, the entrance of the Palazzo del Quirinale, which is the presidential palace of Italy. We are now entering into Monti, the rione number 1, the first one of Rome, the most historical one. Monti means mountains. It's the area between 2 hills, Quirinale where we are, and the ex-Quirinus right in front of us. The Rione Monti was actually the old Suburra. I was saying that Suburra was the name of this area during the Roman Empire. Suburra sounds like suburban, so under the city itself. It was the area where the residences of the plebeians, the common people, live. Dateci. Grazie. And then among the buildings, arches of the imposing Colosseum. The actor Tom Cruise, who has filmed here part of the Mission Impossible new movie they shoot here. Okay, let's go towards the Colosseum through Via Nibaldi. The biggest amphitheater ever built by Romans, and they built hundreds of them. Ciao, friend of mine. Watching this part of the wall on the right, we see how actually the amphitheater was going to collapse 2 centuries ago with the blocks of travertine, the blocks of marble going down, and the construction of this wall made by Pius VII, the Pope, saved part of the outer ring. The Arch of Titus at the entrance of the Roman Forum archaeological area, and the imposing, gigantic Arch of Tuscany, which is 17 centuries old, and the Palatino on the right, one of the 7 hills, the most important ever historically, because this is the hill, the foundation of Rome. And the part of the Circus Maximus here on the right. See, we are in the area with the highest concentration of the archaeological buildings are. The Circus Maximus on the right, the chariots race field, 6 600 meters long, almost 100 meters large, the biggest place for entertainment ever built. About 280,000 spectators fit inside, 6 times bigger than Colosseum. The huge walls of the Bath of Caracalla are on the left, built by the Emperor Caracalla in 214 after Christ. It means that it's 18th century old. We are right now watching on the right the wall of one of the two libraries. Bibliotecas were inside, where people could easily go and read books in Latin one side, in Greek another side. Inside the Bath of Caracalla, in 1990, the three tenors sung the famous historical concert of the three tenors, Pavarotti, Carrera and Dominguez. Now riding towards the Via Appia. Via Appia, the oldest road ever. Romans have created the system of the strade, that means literally stratified, because Romans created roads with the 4 layers of stones in order to drain the water. The Via Appia, built at the beginning of the 3rd century before Christ. There are steel cobblestones of the original roads on the right. You see 20 centuries old. The arch, 2nd century after Christ, was the entrance inside the city. This is Porta Appia or Porta San Sebastiano as well. Still on the Via Appia. The ride is always bumpy in Rome because of the old cobblestones all around. And the Vespa we are riding is the classic vintage style one called the shock absorber. Not the San Callisto Catacombs area. So right now we are out of the Via Appia, which we soon again into. We are riding in the middle of the area of the catacombs of San Callisto, of miles and miles of underground tunnel, where the tombs of the first Christians are. Rome is a very green city. I mean, public parks and agriculture. So more than 64% of the extension of the city of Rome is actually green. And it's easy to spend time in Rome just among the plazas and the fountains and the churches of the city. By Vespa instead, we can easily reach the gorgeous green areas just 5 minutes far from the Colosseum. Actual territory belongs to the city of the Vatican. So we are not riding in the territory of Italy. Back to the Via Appia now. A portion of the original Via Appia, the so-called basolato, so basil. So they are again the cobblestones of the road that goes till a region of Italy called Puglia, which is right in front of Greece, straight, more than 500 kilometers. Eccoci, here we are, finalmente riding Garbatella, my area, where my family lives. We are about 3 miles far from the Colosseum, from the Forum. We are outside the wall of Rome. Garbatella has been the first and very well-made experiment of social housing in Rome in 1920. made by different units of building called lots. Each unit is differently decorated in order to give the working class dignity of living. This is the main plaza of the Garbatella. Here on the right, the cinema. Here, I have a personal story I can never forget, because right here on the right, I dated my wife. Right here, she told me, I wait for you here at 6 p.m. right at the front of the Palladium cinema. And I didn't know so much about Garbatella, you know, and I came here at 6. We explored part of the city by Vespa. We came back here around 8. And 1 minute before I said her ciao, I kissed her right here. My relationship with the lady, I see. Right here. Quick one, because she must go, I must go. But that was enough, you know. And now we are living here. And I want to show you. We live here because after a while we were living together somewhere else. She told me, you know, it's time to go to Garbatella. I already knew that was my destiny. There are nice street artworks on the right, made last year. This is the most famous one on the right, made by two artists called Diamond and Solo, with the lady herself who is holding the name of Garbatella. This is Piazza Damiano Sauri, with the church of San Francesco Saverio, and the Scuola Elementare of Garbatella, where my daughter right now is. Hopefully she is studying the first year of her school. Ciao, papà. Let's go more and more into Garbatella, inside the lotus of Garbatella. You see, we are like in a sort of village. Each of these houses has a different decoration, so there is no house similar to another one. This is another school. Right here is the Scuola dei Bimbi, the asilo we say in Italy, so the infant garden one, the kindergarten one. I have 3 babies and my second one is inside the kindergarten. Here, open in the same time, 1930. As we are understanding, everything has been built here about 100 years ago. So my wife was born in one of these lotto, and that's why I had no option. When we decided about our family home, we came here. She said, no way, the only area where I can live is Garbatella. There are parks, green areas around, and there is a strong sense of community. So we know each other, children know each other, and there are a lot of families around.
Valerio. So I met Valerio through a friend of a friend. That's just simply how everything works in Rome. Okay, and Valerio, tell me exactly what you do.
I'm the Vespa guide in Rome.
You're a Vespa guide.
Yes, I am.
What's the life of Vespa guide like? What do you do?
It's gorgeous one because you know that my fortune is to go around Rome to show my guests around the city by Vespa. All around.
So you sort of live a dream life, but kind of a bit stressful because of Roman traffic, I imagine.
You know, honestly, I don't care because I'm been driving these scooters since I was 16, so it's my life. It's something I miss if I'm not driving.
If you don't drive, you don't feel well.
Right,
yeah. I really enjoyed that ride, so that was completely new experience. Okay, that I've been here for years, all right, and I've done Rome in every possible, imaginable way, left and right. But this is completely new experience. So this is something I'd recommend even to those who know Rome well, because this is just simply different. Okay.
It is the two wheels generally, and the Vespa itself, which is the icon of our Italian lifestyle, is the most flexible vehicle generally. I mean,
and there is a reason why so many Romans, ride these things, because you really like, for example, in here we are inside one of those, they call them lotti. You can't get in here with a car, right? So,
no way.
The Ponte, the new bridge that links Via Appia to Garbatella, is a ponte just over the metro railway.
This was a lot of fun. So listen, Celia told me something. Told me a story, alright, about your wedding. Anything you want to tell us about your wedding?
Yes.
Yeah, right. What is it?
Being a Vespa man, I organize part of the wedding. Actually, my wife did most of the sewing, but I did my part once we get out of the church. So I called a couple of friends of mine, and they came actually about 30, 40 of them, by scooters, by Vespa. They waited for me outside the church was Santa Maria del Popolo. They were waiting for me outside, ready for a Vespa ride in the city with me and her. We had the greatest fun ever.